I'm joined by Netflix original series Last Chance U breakout star Brittany Wagner. Brittany, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So first things first, can you give a little background on how you got to East Mississippi Community College?
I've been an academic counselor. I was an academic counselor for 15 years, and I was working at Mississippi State University. I was a counselor there for football and men's basketball at-risk athletes. And the president of East Mississippi called me and just said, look, we need someone to manage our athletes off the field and help with academic success. Would you be interested in the job? And so after just communicating with him and realizing that there was a real need for that type of athlete to have someone helping them in the classroom, I left the SEC, which most people thought I was crazy, and went to junior college. And I was there for 6 years before Netflix started filming. So 6 years and then 2 years filming and 8 years total. And I loved it. I really did.
You were a very well-respected academic advisor. How important is it to build these relationships? And you're also like a life coach to these athletes too. How important is it, in your opinion, to build these relationships, and how did you go about building those rapport with those athletes?
You know, I think relationship building in any field is uber important. I mean, I think it is the most important thing to success, especially when you're dealing with young people and college students. I just think so much of their success or failure depends on the people that they surround themselves with. And so to be an influence and to really care about them as more than a statistic. So many people in athletes' lives only care about their performance on the field, and they're done with them after their eligibility is over with. And I really wanted us to have a place where we cared about more than just touchdowns and wins and losses. And so that's really what I tried to do. As far as how I form the relationships, I mean, I think you just have to be genuine. You know, I think I was always myself. I was pretty blunt and pretty honest, and I kind of had a tough love relationship with them. But at the end of the day, I really cared about them as people. And I think when you do that, people trust you. Yeah. And there was just a trust that was built between myself and the guys. And, you know, once you have that rapport with a few of them, it kind of spreads. And then next thing you know, you're, you know, changing people's lives. So.
That's amazing. And, of course, your job was not easy, but you did it so well. How was your overall time there?
It was good. It's a stressful job for any academic counselor. And, you know, I've become the face for academic advisors and counselors all over the country. But the truth is there are thousands of us doing this every day. There are counselors here on this campus that are working their tails off to make sure that people are successful. And it's a thankless job. It's a tough job. When you're working in junior college, it's stressful because those athletes have to have their academics in order, and the whole reason they're in a junior college setting in the first place most of the time is because of academics. And so there's just the pressure, you know, to make sure that that's handled and that they're academically eligible to go on to the next level. And so it was pressure-packed, stress-filled, pretty thankless until, you know, you're on a Netflix show, and then I think all the reward and glory came at the end. But I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Good. And you are working on your own company, 10,000 Pencils, correct?
Yes.
So how is that going, and can you talk a little bit more about that?
It's going great. I'm super excited just to have the opportunity to do it. I left scuba a year ago on Valentine's Day of 2017. I left East Mississippi and just decided I was going to do this on my own. And so I started 10,000 Pencils. And I work with athletes everywhere, all over the country. I also work with schools and teachers and counselors and training them how to be more effective with at-risk students. I do a lot of motivational speaking, and it's fun. It's really fun to travel and meet people and see the issues or the successes that we have at campuses all over the country. It's inspiring to me to be in different places and hear the stories and meet the students. It kind of inspires me to keep working harder. So it's been fun, and it's going really well.
And your passion and your enthusiasm is infectious, and it's amazing. And so, like, what is the overall next step for you? Just going and being a public speaker, kind of like a life coach in general? Or?
No, I think 10,000 Pencils is going really well. I'm about to start a foundation too, called the Last Chance Foundation.
Oh, awesome.
And that foundation will allow me to work with athletes who can't pay. So people will donate to the foundation, and then we'll scholarship athletes into 10,000 Pencils. So that way I'll be able to work with more inner city kids and kids that really need the support and the help. I'm super excited about that. and being able to help those students. I also have a podcast, so everyone subscribe to Sharpen Up with Brittany Wagner. It comes out every Wednesday, so it's a weekly podcast, so I'm constantly having to come up with things to talk about and doing my research on that. And I want that to be a motivational and inspirational message every week for people all over the world. So super busy.
Yeah,
and
sounds like it.
I hope I continue to be super busy because that means people care.
Yeah, no, for sure. And thank you again for your time.
Thank
speaking
you.
with us.
Thank you so much.
WB Sports. I'm Kellyanne Stitts.